Pragg is on 5 out of 5.
Yes. And Vidit here just taking it to Arjun. Oh, by the way, before the event started, I did pick Pragg to win,
Yes.
just to be.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So he's just making me proud. But this is a clean extra piece for. Oh wait, how many pawns does White have? 3?
Yeah, no, it's not that clean, but
Yeah.
yes. But most important. Oh, now I'll take on b4, and White is out of danger. So bishop b5 was really careful. But it's hard to coordinate in this thing, and it's not that it's that easy anyway.
Does Black have any winning chances here? Would you say?
So Keymer cleaned up against Abdusattorov.
Yeah, he won. It's the only live game remaining.
This one is a draw.
This one
Yes.
is now okay.
Any chances at all? Nah, not really. 'cause you
Rook
put a
c3,
pawn
bishop
F3.
e8 and f7 and collective thing, and then 3 versus was a draw.
Vidit's having these marathon fights in this Blitz. Over 100 moves. That's...
Yeah, he had his game against Grischuk.
How many moves is this so far?
Was, this
100.
move is.
This is gonna
only
touch
40.
it. It
40,
might
yeah.
touch. It might touch 100 moves.
They might play forever, but h4.
Is there a universe where this rook gets very well, so many moves are coming in. That's the nature of Blitzes. But I was wondering if that rook no, that's a
Yeah, that's definitely a technical
They
that did
fixed
not
it.
happen. And let's also zoom into the players as they blitz out their moves. And we'll have our analysis board up.
I don't see why he came to g1. It could go and sit on g3, but
probably the outside fear of a bishop getting to f1. Just
yes, and then but still nothing is going to happen if I play h4 and then keep waiting. The problem for you is even if you exchange rooks, it might be a draw. So,
yeah. I think the only way White can lose is if this rook ends up on g3 and gets stuck there. Like if you can probably get Zugzwang from there. But that's
yes.
why you should he's keeping the rook on the 4th rank rather than on some passive position over here.
But just throw in h4. It can't be bad.
So Vidit, his game against Grischuk was 173 moves. So he is just having the marathon day of Blitz chess. And he had, did you see that game? He had 2 knights against a lone king.
No, I did not see that.
Have
game.
you ever had that?
I had 2 knights against, but there must have been a pawn, king and pawn.
No. Just 2 knights against a king. They
But
played
that's a draw.
no, of
Yeah,
course, but they played it
on
out.
forever. Grischuk had a bishop. He sacrificed the bishop, and then it went into a pure 2-knight versus king.
So by your surprise, it sounds like you have never had that.
No, I've. The moment my opponent took the pawn, I mean, sacrificed his pawn. I think I was once winning against Bangua, but I had no idea how to win it. So
Let's point out the clock is not correct. Vidit hasn't flagged here.
Yeah, that will fix when. I mean, I think the DGT froze for a second, so the moves will all come in. That's the nature of when they're on their final set. I think about. And we have no idea. He did push a pawn, so the counter will restart, but hopefully the board will.
no, now Arjun is in trouble. Bishop f5 check, g4, bishop d3.
Oh, you can
and
see the
this is-
position that closely.
Yeah, but what is bishop c2? You should just go bishop. Where the hell is that rook anyway?
Yeah, it looks like
We're getting.
Some trades, rook
wait.
bishop versus rook, maybe?
Wait, no, but the white king is like almost checkmated. It looks like so. Hopefully, the rook.
Let's bring up our analysis board.
Oh, what is?
Or
rook
what's-
is
We
c1.
just the DGT.
Rook c1, rook c1. Rook c1.
Oh,
I can't even see.
This is
Yeah.
not the position.
No.
yeah. Let's
Yeah.
head.
So king f4. That king.
No, rook f2 check. King f4 was.
Oh wow.
Take the pawn, of course. No, but the problem for Arjun, he might have the technique, but it's blitz chess, and I feel like that's where it just gets very worrisome. But he has the 2nd rank defense by design.
Yeah.
With Blitz, it's still complicated to defend this position. It's not easy.
No, not at all.
Anand, have you won rook bishop versus rook?
I don't think I've ever had rook and bishop versus rook.
Really?
Yes.
Oh wow, it's quite a common one.
I mean, I had it once with black in blitz, and then after. Actually, I played it accurately for 45 moves, and then blundered my rook.
You were on the defense.
I was in the defense, yeah.
This is looking.
This is
Oh.
no, it's just
Yeah,
about right because that king was supporting the rook. So rook f5 was important.
Yes.
If the rook had been an f8, this would be a theoretical
And
loss.
he knows the drawing technique here, but
Yeah.
I feel like don't you get confused sometimes? Like even though it's the same, just with the like a shift,
Yeah.
a degree shift of the board, sometimes it just gets confusing for players.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're getting
A
a
Cochrane defense.
Cochrane, yeah. Shen or Cochrane or whatever.
Perfect.
Yeah, going to the office. Oh, lovely.
Definitely an over 100 move game.
Yeah, maybe we can even remove the board from the screen, use the full screen of the players. Yes.
And
And could we zoom in?
Yeah, if we could zoom on into the board, that would be great here.
Also, I wonder if Arjun was keeping count of what how many moves it's been since the pawn was captured, because it's a 75 move by the arbiters.
And, okay, this is already twice. King e8, and I think they have had this exact position before. But King d8, okay. The last time it was King d5 and King f8. So.
Do you think Arjun is going to claim, or he'll just wait for the arbiter to step in?
So far, he's making the easy moves.
Yeah, he's doing everything right.
He's confident, so he might just wait for the 75 move instead of claiming at 50.
But 75, the arbiter stops it, right?
Yes.
And that happened with Grischuk and Vidit earlier.
Oh, we got a close up of the board.
Yeah, that king has run away from the side of the board, which is very good news for Arjun. But he's been confident this whole way.
Yeah, but I think a white king that's back in the center is not a good sign for black.
No, not in the slightest.
It was bang on the center. It was on e5. That's not good.
But sometimes
for progress.
Sometimes you, yeah, he's doing everything right. He's pinning the bishop from a distance, and
yeah,
he can even move his king further. And he does. Oh, very nicely done by Arjun.
And looks like he's going to hold this, which would mean that we'd have 3 decisive wins with the white pieces in this round.
This game, I really want to know what move it is. Even more so than getting the exact position, I would love to know what move number we're on, because
King h5.
Wait, is the king on the final rank, final file?
No, but this is tricky because it's
Yeah.
the same position, but the board rotated.
And
Yeah,
so then it's
that's
quite hard to
tricky.
play
Yes.
because you're fighting anti-gravity now. You're not going e2 to e8. You're going in the other direction.
But he did the right thing. He went rook b4 there, so he
Yeah.
really
Yeah. Knows the
is clean on
defense.
this. Is this something that you recommend even these super grandmasters to just continuously practice? Because sometimes people know it, but then they forget it.
I know. I keep telling myself I should check this ending once a month, and I end up checking it once a year. That's how it goes.
But hopefully the once a year is not at the board. It's the comfort of your home. Because even very, very strong players have, of course, lost this
Of
endgame.
course.
Yeah.
Endings are maybe the hardest for humans relative to computers.
But Arjun's playing with speed as well. He's very confident of this hold. How much time does he have?
Considering that
I can
Oh,
throw in
and
a
he's
claim.
claiming
He
now.
can, yeah,
I
I can
think
throw in
he's
a claim. I
claiming.
think because come on, they made so many moves.
Got to be more than 50, no?
yeah, it looks like the
Oh, they're checking? And if it isn't, if it hasn't reached 50 moves, then Vidit will get an extra minute on the clock and the game continues.
that's right. The minute I don't think is what's gonna help
Yeah.
Vidit win the game, because they
Oh, and that's it. It
Yeah,
has
it's
crossed
they've
50
played
moves.
for so long.
And with that, Arjun holds 3 decisive games, all won.
Playing some English that I do not understand. And Timur, is that a piece sacrifice?
Yeah, let's
Oh.
bring
So
up
first
this
piece-
board.
Okay, so he's gone thing, and now if b4, I think his idea must be e5. Because what else? I mean, if
Yeah.
you move your knight and I play b3, c3, it should be good, right?
But Grischuk
He's gone
took.
for this instead. But
Al-
now
also-
I can play
also
e5 and knight e4 or
Timur
a5.
has as much time as he started with, so there's clearly some kind of preparation, at least for blitz chess. And b4, the engine doesn't like, because it says it turns it around in white's favor.
White's favor.
Yes, as white is to be preferred here, but okay, this is.
Oh, so it must be e5. Knight d5, and I have the knight e4, and maybe some bishop g5 and stuff. Knight f2, ft2, c4, these are ideas.
huge.
I could play e5, knight f d7 to try and play c5, but then something strong might happen on e6 or f7.
Oh, and e5 played, so we'll see. Oh, he goes knight to d5, but oh, interesting. Like this looks so clean for white.
Yeah, but if I play h6, then you go knight f d2 maybe. He's got knight d7, allowing bishop g5.
Oh, the end. This is weightlifting.
But maybe some knight f g5 was possible. Queen c7, a mistake.
Okay, I maybe f6. I mean, it looks so suspicious, but f6 potentially.
But what else? So it clearly wanted to go queen b6 or queen b8 or something like that.
And okay,
Wow,
well now it
and
looks
the
black.
bar
Look at
is
how
going
quickly.
crazy. What happened here? Why? Is
Maybe
it
I can
such
just
a
play
big
g5,
advantage?
bishop g3, and your bishop is on the wrong side of. Or knight f4 maybe, and c5, knight f4.
So knight
Oh.
f4, you're hitting the bishop.
Bishop c4, c5.
Is there some bishop e6 stuff?
There's a knight
Oh,
on
knight
f4.
on f4. So I might have to push it first with my knight on e4 hangs. Maybe you can show knight f4 ideas and c5 opening up the bishop.
But rook f1.
Yeah, it's still compensation, right?
Hmm.
This looks like a mess, but I think that getting c5 in is a huge.
It's not only a mess, it's a blitz mess. So
Which makes it
Gukesh,
messier.
I would say Gukesh is almost winning against MVL.
So
The position looks just huge to me.
Yeah, let's
a
go.
lot of time. Yeah, let's go
Let's take
to
a quick look
Gukesh.
at Gukesh MVL.
Okay. What is happening?
Wouldn't you agree this is just
Oh.
almost lost for black? Yeah, I mean the computer agrees, but just A4, A5. I mean the pawns on C4 and D4 are the most beautiful I've seen.
And White's king is super safe in the center.
Maybe black can even just take rook takes D4 here.
It almost looks like a position where black thinks that white already castled, and then you have
Yeah.
clear compensation.
Rook D4 now would,
Oh my
Whoa.
gosh. So you want to go E3 next?
Oh.
Is it on the board?
Yes.
yeah. So maybe A4 was, you can't castle because of GH4, but some
Can we show what
sensible
happens if
waiting move.
White actually takes on D4? Because this is crazy.
But this is, I mean, it's such a great idea
Queen
by
C3,
Maxime.
but it's still good for white. It's just that at least black won't just have to sit and await developments.
Well,
He's
let me
not going to take.
And he's saying A5, okay. Oh, A5, knight D7, queen B2, and the rooks can no longer support each
he
other. That was
blundered-
the problem.
He blundered on the spot.
Yeah, but it might have been lost anyway.
Can you just take this and get a
Yes.
new queen?
Nice.
And then rook D1?
No, why not queen D2, rook D2, B8?
Oh,
That's even-
you're right. You're right. You could take this rook and then take on A7 and get a new queen.
Wait, queen D2, rook D2, A7,
Yes. You're.
queen, rook A2.
Oh,
Let's just try that.
Oh
yeah,
my
just
gosh.
quickly show.
Oh, he's gone
He
BA7
went
because of
BA8.
He's
what?
gone BS. No, yes, he's
Yes,
gone
I'm
BS.
just-
Oh, because the queen A4 check takes C2.
Yes.
That's why. So it's over.
So
Here, rook A2, queen B4 check might be a mess.
yeah, just to show quickly, that would have been messy. So instead, we get to the game. He takes on A7, gets
And
a
now
queen.
queen A4 check and handshake time.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
you pick up the C2 rook. Wow. Nice tactics there.
wow. Full board awareness from Gukesh, and just like he did against Pragnananda yesterday. These
When that pawn was on A3, did you see it coming back to via A4 to C2, Robert?
And handshakes
but,
already.
but I think Gukesh did.
And can we criticize Gukesh for not looking for better?
No, this time I'll applaud him. But Maxime, he stopped the bleeding. He got a win, but now he's back to another loss, and Gukesh evens up his
Keymer
score.
is playing a beautiful game.
Okay.
I mean, anytime you exchange down, you better hope it's beautiful. But
Oh, the light square control is.
it may not be that much because there's rook F1 coming in. How do I stop that? But okay, takes.
So, is rook F1?
Rook F1.
Yes, this
Then
ended.
Yeah, but
A5,
take and I go
G5.
G4. Oh, A5 is hanging. Oh,
Yeah.
so then one of the 2 pawns. Oh, then it's just beautiful.
Well, so great
know.
awareness from
Mhm.
Keymer, and with not so much time on his clock, that he's winning one more
Wait,
pawn.
wait. I go rook F1, king F1, A4.
So
Humor
you-
me.
So you're giving up the G5 pawn?
And then I'm going to go E4, and if D4, I'm going to go D3 and attack B2.
But maybe E4, you
Mm.
can go king E2.
Yes.
Yes. So what we're talking about is after the
Yeah,
exchange
it's
of
just
rooks,
over.
black at some point needs to get desperate and sacrifice a pawn, but it's not going to land in the direction. So which game should we?
Should we head over to
Pragg to
Pragnananda
Hari.
against Hari?
Let's go, because Pragnananda 4 out of 4 thus far. Vincent Keymer looks like he's about to beat Abdus Tarvin. What is this mess?
At first,
Oh,
it
he's
feels like black
producing
has
a
got
weakness on C6. But
loose
maybe
pieces.
bishop C6, knight C6, BC is not a bad thing. I mean, if I play C5 and rook A8, I have no problems
I've
at
always
all.
felt that double pawns in Blitz are just terrible. That's how I've always felt strongly about that. That because our human instincts take over, we're worried that they're going to fall. We just don't like them really.
But that knight on E6 is going to defend both of them.
Yeah, no, the knight's a hero, but I don't know. I don't think there's a choice here. I agree.
Hmm.
Oh, B6.
That looks like it's harder than it needs to be because is that bishop coming back? Queen C3, bishop B5. What is he going to go? A4 or what? On F5. Okay. Knight
Uh-oh.
F5, rook D5.
So are there knight takes H6?
Knight takes H6.
Yeah, that looks very strong.
Knight takes H6. Yep.
So if you take knight G6, it's game over.
And if you don't, it's game over.
Fair.
Knight G, F7 and knight G6. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
What is the kid on?
What is 6 out of 6?
Five-
Unbelievable.
Don't give him a. He didn't win next round yet. It's 5 out of 5.
Oh, 5
Seven
out
out
of
of 5.
5.
But
yeah.
it seems like he's 6 out of 5 the way he's playing. but
Wait, Vidit played rook F6. We do have to bounce across games. Hang on. Vidit went rook F6.
Yeah.
What is
Okay.
happening there?
this looks like Prague is
Oh,
winning. So let's
wow.
go to Vidit's game and just see.
By White, Pragnananda on fire, keeps going. Maxime Vacher-Legrave lost to Gukesh in that brilliant game that we saw. And meanwhile, it was Vincent Keymer scoring the 3rd victory with White in a nice technical finish.
And these are
What are our standings?
yep.
Let's bring up our standings going into round 6.
Okay, we'll
We
bring
had
it
an
up in a second.
accidental prediction from Tanya.
Yeah, she did say.
These are the results of the previous round, and as we were saying, Gukesh scoring a win, and this is what it is. Wow, a 1.5 point lead.
Already, yeah.
Yeah. This is a big Vishy, and we often speak about going on tilt when it comes to speed chess, but it works the other way around as well. When you're feeling on form, you feel unstoppable.
Definitely, and 5 out of 5 speaks for itself. So.
Oh, I never thought I'd hear Vishy say that.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even mean to do that. It's a normal expression in English before he used it. Come on. So.
It does though, but Grischuk, I feel like he keeps flying under the radar here. He had a very nice performance in the rapid with a plus score here with 3.5 out of 5, and Vidit there in third place. I feel like Vidit, as Taimur and yourself were complimentary of him, it seems like he has improved his speed chess play.
Yeah.
And just 3 minutes before liftoff for round 6, let's bring up our matchups that are coming in and get some predictions.
Okay, with round 6 coming up, Pragg would like to hold you to your word, Tanya. 6 out of 6 is what he aims for.
But he's playing the 3 times world Blitz champion. It's Pragg versus Grischuk. How do you expect this one to play out?
I don't expect things in Blitz. I just see them unfold. All 3 results would not surprise me, let's put it that way. Even with Pragg's form, look, everything comes to an end, and Grischuk has all the experience you need in Blitz. So.
Absolutely, a 3 times world Blitz champion. Let's bring up our pairings for the upcoming round.
Yes, and as we said, Grischuk and Pragg, that's a matchup of first and second, but some other great matchups as well. Gukesh against Arjun, I keep wanting to say all Indian teenager clash, but then I remind myself, Arjun just turned 20 the other day.
He did, and we also have Nodebek taking on Maxime. Nodebek will play with the black pieces. Hari Krishna against Vincent. Pragg, 5 out of 5, takes on Alexander Grischuk. Vidit against Taimur Rajabov.
Such great matchups. And how did Nodebek do in the last game? He lost.
Nodebek lost to Vincent in that endgame.
That bishop ending. So Vincent is on a high, and I guess, Vishy, how you've played in the World Blitz Championship and all these big events. How do you recover from a loss when you have 2 minutes to do so? Is it that easy to just sit down and play the next game?
In Blitz, especially these 9 rounds a day, or in World Rapid, it's even more, 12 one day and 11 the next, and so on. You have no time to recover. The beauty is you can have 3 losses in a row, and then you can go from that to 4 wins in a row, and all streaks are possible. So multiple streaks are possible in a day, and you just have to let go of this idea that you'll have any control. You just go and play every time. At least I throw myself to the 4 wins, and that's my attitude during a game. I don't try to during a tournament, because when there are that many games happening and constantly, you have no idea what you're capable of, and I mean that in a negative way as well. So you just go with the flow.
And Maxime had this fantastic performance in the rapid, but he's struggling today in the tournament in Blitz. How does that work?
I don't know that I necessarily have an explanation. It can happen. Maybe the first game affected him, maybe it didn't, but these are small margins. In the rapid, he had the time and the ability to play very precisely, and here maybe he's just, or maybe he's adjusting the change of format. I mean, there are umpteen rules, so I mean, umpteen things that could have happened.
So it's not a given that you perform well in one format, you'll be able to repeat it.
Nothing's given in chess. You can, if the field is strong enough, you should always go in with the feeling that anything can happen.
Anything can happen in this game as well. Let's bring up, as we've got action, and Bishop G5. Does that surprise you?
Nothing surprises me anymore. They also play Bishop F4. So head 6. Now he might go Bishop F4. No, he went Bishop H4.
Striking at the center with his knight, and for Grischuk, he played this funny Bishop A5 move yesterday. Against
that was brilliant.
It was.
I'm still trying to understand what's the point.
Apparently, I didn't speak to him, but I heard that he rattled off like some ideas behind it. So because he was asked what was the point of that move, and he's like, oh, there's all this deep preparation behind it, which is cool.
It's amazing.
And here we see that Grischuk, he's down 15 seconds on the clock, a closed position thus far.
Why not E3?
He's gonna probably play E3, but take his sweet time beforehand.
That's exactly right.
Although sometimes you have to, of course, watch out for everybody's G5 can hit you, and a knight E4 and things of that nature.
And Arjun very much with his pet hobby horse, this old what is it called, Manhattan system of the Rogozin, right?
Oh, so I mean I have to go there now. So Gukesh and Arjun, the clash.
Are you from Manhattan?
I'm from Manhattan.
Okay, then that's your variation. That's your variation.
You said it, and I felt absolutely obligated to go. And this type of position where there's no tension in the center, black has put the pawn on c4. I thought historically, traditionally they say that white, because you control this pawn break in the center, it's usually pretty nice. But how is your experience?
Well, they used to play g6, bishop h3, knight e4 without queen a6.
Right.
But Arjun has been playing this quite innovatively. He's been finding new ideas, also some new plans, and so I'm sure he has some new twist. I'm pretty sure Gukesh will know what he's up to as well. I mean, I'm sure they study each other's ideas.
So they study with each other and also against each other.
Definitely.
I think we have to go back to the Pragg game just because things are heating up on that board between our tournament leader and Vishy. Oh, this one also is heating up with e4 by
e4.
Gukesh. But look at this one. G4 push and a3 just at the right time to stop this nasty pin. Do you think it works out for white?
Yes, he's going to pawn down but 2 bishops. So in fact, not even a pawn down, because I'll go knight e5, knight d4, e3, knight f5, knight takes g4, and get my pawn back.
But it feels like a very adventurous play from Grischuk here, and
but this looks horrible for Arjun, right?
Okay, we'll go back to Arjun's game. See
Excuse me.
Yeah.
G5.
Oh.
Still, it looks crappy.
Your king is open. You haven't developed your queen side. And this queen moved how many times? Queen a5, queen a6, queen c6. Too many.
Yeah, I was just explaining that Arjun has lots of new ideas here, but maybe some of them are bad. So.
But this happens in Blitz, right? You just get it.
You mix up your moves, whatever.
So why is white thinking right now? Yeah, bishop g3.
Because it was d5 as well, maybe.
So considering that, and that's always in the
But that pawn on d4 is restraining the knight on d7, so you might want to leave it alone for a bit. And
this knight can't easily
why
move.
commit anything? Also, after a3, I could aim knight d6 maybe.
So Gukesh clearly in charge in this game.
And there is a huge eval bar shift on the Vidit Temur board. If you want to quickly just take a look at that, Vidit.
Something has gone wrong in Temur's QGD because there's a knight on d6. There's one knight ready to go to h5.
He goes
or even reinforce each other, e4 and d6.
Can go in either direction, right? You don't know where this knight's heading, g5 or c5. And it feels like white has had several free moves because black's rooks are on their, well, I would say starting squares, but the castled square and the starting square. Oh, this looks terrible.
Yeah, knight g5.
Yeah, clear attack for white over here. So looking very good.
Vidit, even in the rapid, he had a really nice game and a good result against Rajabov, and here as well from the start, being the one who's pushing. Do you think it's something to do with their styles that Vidit's able to get this kind of advantage against Temur?
You can go years without getting an advantage against Temur, and
That's
then
true.
then you're better 3 times in 2 days.
He's done what most people can't in their whole lifetime. The knights have jumped onto the c5, d6 square.
I really wanted to go to g5, but c5, I can't say it's bad, but I really wanted to go to g5 because I was hoping for some hits of an action.
This is one of these positions where you see a player resign as black, and everyone's confused. Even material, what happened here? It's black has no control of this board. And now I definitely want my knight on g5 so I could take on h7.
But I could take knight d8 takes b7. Oh, then rook b8 and he gets back in time.
Trying to get some counterplay. You lose a pawn, you open a file.
Rook e4. This is keeping pressure.
I feel like Vidit's been in amazing form. I mean, even though he lost the game to Maxime and had some wins and losses, I feel like the fighting is
just
really there.
And if you compare it with his previous performances in Kolkata, this year he's clearly up a notch. He's playing much, much better. And as Temur himself mentioned that yesterday, that Vidit is just playing.
He just hoped that he didn't do it against him.
Yes.
He just play well against everybody else, but not me. And Tanya, I think you saw another interesting game.
Yeah, I think it's time to head back to the Pragg Grischuk board with Grischuk under 30 seconds right now. Both have castled queen side. And Pragg with the bishop pair. But how do you evaluate this position?
There's a pawn missing on d4.
But there's a pawn missing on the G file.
Yes, how did they swap those two? But anyway,
Level
black is fine. White probably isn't worse.
Ooh.
But black is fine.
It's a nice way to develop the rook.
Yeah, coming to the king side, and that could lead to an attack. This bishop on G7, of course, a great piece. I think I like Grishuk's last move so much that I'm starting to favor, at least from a practical perspective, White's position.
Some rook b4.
Which game is crazy?
It's an absolute crazy
Gukesh,
position in the
Arjun.
Gukesh Arjun. If you want to quickly jump
Yes.
to that.
Let-
There's
What?
a traffic jam on
What
the
is
E5.
happening? Yeah.
This knight is pinned, so that you're never going to be able to take this rook. It kind of
But
feels
now
like black is
some
solid.
queen b2.
Oh. Going for this diagonal here?
Is that the word that springs to mind, Robert? Solid.
Yes, it does. It's a good control of the light squares. Hey, Timur taught me a lesson, you know, the pleasant positions.
Ah, well, yes. I love that one.
No, this position looks very bad for black, whose king is just
MBL
making a
is
mad
killing
dash.
Abdusatorov. That looks a beautiful position.
Oh,
but let's
and
finish this
yeah.
first.
Wait,
hang
but
on.
what just happened? He's making a series of trades here. Because the
Well,
queen
because
is
the
overloaded.
e5 queen f5 check is very strong, and thank you.
No
Okay,
check.
queen
Can you go-
f7,
Uh-oh. Just pressure everywhere.
queen e5. Wow, even better.
Oh.
Queen b8 coming in.
But
as
wait,
well.
rook e8,
Yes, there's some tricks because
Queen b8, queen s7.
queen b8, king e7.
Queen s7.
we're going to see all this.
Yeah,
Queen
queen b8, king
e7.
e7. If rook b7, king f8, I don't like, but I can play
Maybe queen s7. Yeah, is that an option?
Yeah, and king.
queen a7. Looks
Wait, what's
nice.
happening to rook e1?
King f8.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's still defended. Everything's defended.
but 5 seconds.
Oh, he's gone for the rook ending because that's winning. King f and king f1.
That was very nice because you stopped the. As long as you can. keep
But
your-
the thing is, your king f6 is clever. He's basically saying the rook needs to jump around. Now I can go a4 for the moment and plug things. a4, wow. But now the rook will come in on b2, and this is
Rook
a
c2?
loss of control. And then rook a3.
no,
Then
but
he will.
white can't move.
Yeah, but he will play h3, g4, f4, everything, and then the rook can plunge again with.
I'm going to leave the decision
But
to you,
it's
but
not,
this will be a technical endgame. Do you want to quickly run over to the leader?
Grishuk? Let's go.
Yes,
Because what?
good question. There were queens on the board when I wanted to go to it, but the players are also playing with
We've
very
been
little
we've
time.
been nattering away on this position for that long, right?
Yeah.
But this position looks very nice for black in terms of an endgame because of the activity here.
Hari beat Vincent.
Yes.
Grischuk is clearly worse.
Grishuk is clearly
Oh,
worse.
rook
Yes.
trade?
What? Why?
Yeah, we're looking at the game right now.
No, he's
Oh, he
blundered a
blundered.
pawn.
Oh, so he's
No, to be honest, I hadn't noticed that Grischuk was getting ready to trade rooks. But with the pair of rooks and my queen side, I mean, if I could have gone king d6, d5, b5, I thought it was
Uh-oh,
better.
we
Uh-huh.
see them on screen here. Grishuk playing very fast up a pawn now. This is looking to spoil the unbeaten streak for Pragg. You see Pragg trading pawns on the queen side, but
Oh, but this is the thing, because he's now going to weaken those two pawns on c6 and b7 and do all that stuff.
With b5 or how? Doesn't allow it?
how do you make progress here? Oh, g4.
Bishop
no, no, not
F1,
g4.
no.
That would lose.
And now d5.
Could you throw in a b5 at some point too, and then try to get b5, b6?
It might be...
Wow.
I can get
Ooh,
there.
something happened.
Wait, why not b5 here?
I think he's probably afraid of giving black a passer as well. So
Yes, but when the bishop was on e6, I could take on b7, b4, d5.
right.
Thought I might just be a move faster, but...
It looks like Pragg though. 2 seconds on his clock.
Oh,
He's
he
getting his
makes
moves
a
off.
move. He
And-
made a move with 1 second on the clock.
I mean, this eval bar is a seesaw. It's going up and down. Better for white. Still back in drawing range.
Do you want to break with d5 or b5 in such positions?
I think the problem is the white king can't move. Ooh. Where's maybe now b5?
He's gone for d5.
No, that's the wrong one.
It's the wrong one. He had to go b5, takes d5 maybe.
b6 played.
Now there is no way to progress.
Because you don't have a passer.
You know, I think he had a
Yeah.
bishop c6 instead of b6 there. Trading bishops probably resulted in a draw. So we can look at that after the game. But yeah, he went b6 and now he still is holding. It's clear because it's
Yeah.
1 holds 2 on the side. But
Yeah, now there's no way to forward. And in the meantime,
Oh.
Gukesh lost to Arjun.
mhm.
The lost upon ending he actually. So Gukesh
Wait,
was the
Arjun
overstep.
won.
Or checkmate.
That's what it says 0-1.
Yes, Gukesh lost to
And
Archer.
Vidit beat Timur.
That-
That was expected.
Yes.
But Arjun winning the 2 pawn down endgame.
Yes.
Blitz is absolutely wild.
And he's still trying to convert this one, but maybe there's really not anything to be done anymore.
Yeah.
Can you ever get g4 in?
No, it doesn't look like it. They're just gonna repeat moves until the arbiter steps in and says his move. 7. You even saw Grischuk there.
Yeah.
He's a little flustered.
I think it was about getting that b pawn going with
There are too many
b5.
squares for the bishop as well, so you can't even kick him out of the diagonal.
Oh. I'm trying to.
But this was the first game that Pragg was slightly in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's it. It ends in a draw. Pragg holds this endgame. We still have one more game on. Let's head over to
And
Maxime versus
I think MVL is
Motherpad.
still going to win this.
So Maxime coming back.
Yes, and just don't push your pawn too soon. That's probably one way that you could let your opponent make a draw. But this looks
Knight e4 now.
And
Bishop f2.
Have king e8, king e6.
Knight c5 check and king e6. Knight c5 check and king e6. So you don't have the a6 square, and so it was winning. But it's winning anyway. King g6
King
and knight
g6.
g5. It's over.
Yeah, he wants very simple pushes, and this is done. Maxime is going to take it. He can get his bishop here, like right now, and that's. Are we going to see knight and bishop?
Let's watch a knight and
I
bishop.
think
Ah,
we
that's
will.
nice.
Or we might not, because how are you stopping?
Yeah.
Oh, boo.
Maxime Arjun making a comeback in the Blitz with this technical win against Nodibek Abdulsatrov. So a round with 4 decisive results, and finally the hot streak of Pragg comes to a halt with a draw against Grischuk.
I still think a draw with the black piece against Grischuk, that's a pretty hot result. So 5.5 out of 6 for him. But you see the other results. Every other game was decisive. Hari Krishna beats Vincent Keymer, so that's wonderful for him. And Vidit continues his good form, and Arjun somehow wins. I still can't believe that.
The thing is that pawn was stuck, so he might have hit a point where he had to take the draw and refused to.
Yeah.
And if you want, let's take a look at that.
Yeah, let's do a quick look at what actually happened in that game.
We see the final position, up a rook, so maybe black got a pass pawn or something, but we left, where was it? No, before this. Here, this is where we left off, and to imagine that...
Maybe it's just no way forward. So what happened here? h4, did he go g4 check? No.
No, he allowed black to go g4.
But now you're running out of moves, a bit.
No, white doesn't have any moves.
Well, rook a8 draws, rook a5 draws, but if you keep thinking you're going to win, then you're going to get into trouble.
Oh, wow. So this turned around very quickly, and now suddenly black is better. So they repeat.
And he did repeat.
Yeah, he's still playing for the win. You called it. Exactly what happened. And king f4.
Oh, that's nice, because rook e5, and then the king is going to saunter to the third. Still have rook e5 check.
He's just going to...
But this is unpleasant. And given where you started, most people will not adjust in time.
Amazing.
Blitz doesn't give you time to come to terms with anything. You just keep playing.
Keep going.
Chundering on.
He went for this pawn.
Oh, and he just lost...
he just allowed this pawn to promote,
Oh.
and that's where he resigned, because the pawn was stopped. Wow, what a turnaround in that game.
By the way, do you think king e5 was the last move? Or did d6 resigns and the king was put to e5 to simply establish the result?
Tanya, what's your guess? Was king e5 just the result or the last move?
I would say it was the last move of the game.
Yeah, I think so.
King e5, you go d7, rook d1. I think it was just over.
Okay. Because in many positions
They put the
they'll-
king on
they'll
e5.
like sometimes there's a pawn on h7 and the king is on f6, and instead of going to g7 stop the pawn and goes to e5 and the game stops as a draw, and you have to understand that to register the result on the board the king goes back to e5. So it's gone to g7 and then jump to e5 is, I think, correct way to describe it. But anyway,
All right, well, this round comes to an end, and we still have 3 more Blitz games coming up. We will go into a short break. Anand, thank you so much for joining us with these 3 games.
Thank you.
And once again, it's such a pleasure to have you here with us. So whenever possible, please jump in.
I'm happy to join tomorrow, but I'll watch you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. We'll be right back after this break. And the players are on the stage to start the action. Let's bring up our beautiful hall at the National Library of India here in Kolkata. What a day of chess we've had, Robert.
What a day we've had. What a day Pragg has had. He's 5.5 out of 6. Clear first place, 1.5 points ahead of the competition. As we dive into the playing hall, the round 7 action has begun. So why don't we get in there and look at what the players are up to?
They're up to a lot. It is fascinating openings all across, and I think we have to start with the tournament leader so far, Pragg 5.5 out of 6, as you said. He's playing against Vidit Gujarati, who is currently tied for second and has had solid performance so far. This one's not going to be easy for Pragg.
And revenge might be on Vidit's mind, because in round 7 of the Rapid, Pragg did find his way through to a victory against Vidit, and then Vidit won those final 2 games. But I actually was curious, and I'm curious about your thoughts. Do you think the players think about that? Like, I lost to you just yesterday, now I need to beat you?
This is a 3-minute with a 2-second increment. I don't believe they have the time to go into that bit. Perhaps somewhere at the back of their mind, but with this fast play, it is speed chess at its best. It's all about what's going to be your next move, and that is the question for that bishop on b3. Do you allow the trades to happen? Do you step back to c2, trying to get that central d4 break in?
This is a big question, and right now Vidit is on the clock, and he just, I think, traded bishops. That's what it looked like he did. The queen comes out, so the d4 pawn push, not very easy for white to accomplish, because all of black's pieces are staring in that direction. And for Pragg, the question becomes, does he start playing it safe a little bit, or does he just continue to play with the same ambition and form he's shown in the first 6 rounds? Because when you have a tournament lead, sometimes in the back of your mind, it's not intentional, but it creeps in. Oh, I can just keep my lead. But that's a dangerous way to play.
It's a dangerous way to play, and it's one that the 18-year-olds just don't know about. Pragg will play the position. If he gets the chances, he will take them with both hands. We see the queens have been traded off. Usually in these structures, openings, if black is able to get a successful d5 break in, you've solved all your opening problems.
All of them solved, because black will put a rook on d8, go for this d3 pawn. Just don't get your bishop trapped. The point of a4 is to play a5 to get at this bishop, but a5 played because the knight defends b6. You don't have to ruin your pawn structure. So this one looks solid into the endgame. Should we hop somewhere else just for a moment and then come right back?
Yes, you were talking about what's not looking safe. Arjun Arigassi's queen has gone all the way to a8. Let's quickly jump over to Arjun versus Maxime Arjun. I mean, isn't there supposed to be a black rook there?
There was a black rook there. I'm just trying to count the material. It's not a full rook. White has a rook for a knight, the knight on a6, and black certainly has compensation here. I think for Blitz time control especially, without a clear direction for the white king, some people would even take black's position here.
Attack against the king is the most difficult situation to face when you're playing with little time on the clock. So definitely initiative is of essence here, and we see the knight jumping in not only towards the center of the board but blocking out Maxime's queen from the rest of the game. Arjun meanwhile gets the castle going. I don't care what the eval bar says. I think for Maxime Arjun, he's feeling that he has enough compensation here.
And it was huge that he could take on b5 with tempo against that knight that was hanging on a6. Otherwise, he would not have been able to capture. The g2 pawn was loose. This looks like a position where Arjun, he is well ahead, but if black can strike with f4 at the right moment, the white king will feel vulnerable. So this looks great for Maxime. He continues to bounce back from an 0-3 start. Any other games?
He really does. Let's head over to Temur Rajabov facing the other Indian sensation. India #1, Gukesh, playing with the black pieces in that one. And it looks like he's trying to get his central pawns going. But look at that activity of Temur's rook on the 7th rank. Knight e5 is a move that you always have to have in mind. But right now, black's queen can jump over to d6 and neutralize the pin.
Yeah, hitting both the rook and the knight. So you take the knight on d7, I get your knight on e5. And this is similar to their game in the Rapid, where Temur sacrificed the pawn for the initiative. He went for activity. But right now, it does seem like Gukesh, after knight d4, you have to watch out for one thing. But he goes rook c4, slides the rook into the white rook's path. This seems like Gukesh has seen the worst behind him.
Yes, and once those rooks get traded off, maybe Gukesh will be the one who'll start thinking about trying to push those queenside pawns. If you do go rook c4 and trade on black's terms, the black queen can jump over to c5. The knight can hop over to that c5 square, and you're already thinking about getting that passer moving. So Temur, his best piece in the position is the rook, and he says, I'm not trading that.
No way, especially because he wants queen g4 next, go after the e6 pawn. That's his compensation. So this one is interesting, but how is Pragg and Vidit shaping up?
It's still pretty level. It is that end game that we did leave it at, and we can get a quick update on that. It is the marquee matchup in this round. Pragnananda 5.5 out of 6. Vidit tied for second. Can he leapfrog the standings? And there we see, even though the material is balanced, it is a kind of an imbalanced position with the bishop versus knight.
Yeah, and we have to prefer the knight and the king activity for black. The rook's doubled on an open line. Oh, rook e4. This rook is not protected, but there's no check. If this king goes to f1, suddenly knight e3 check. That's why the king couldn't slide to the center.
You've got to watch out for all those tricks when you're playing against the knight. That can be a nightmare, but with that rook jumping onto e4, he's looking at sliding the other rook to the e line. Rook e1, doubling up on the e file. Says, you've got the d line, I'm taking control of the other one.
The only good news about this bishop on a3 is it protects the b2 pawn, because black's idea is knight f4, knight d3, but you're not actually attacking anything. You need to get a knight to c4. That would be disastrous for white.
Did you say black's idea was knight f4?
I was, and I can't do it anymore. Unfortunately, that's what Vidit's going to say. But it's not clear how Vidit makes progress. He could trade one pair of rooks at some moment. Instead, he angles for f5.
He's trying to get f5 in after defending that pawn on g5. And both players under a minute now. It's still a very tense endgame, and white does take full control of the e-file. It might be time to start trading off a pair of rooks.
And it looks like Rajabov just blundered a rook. I have to pull up that game out of the corner of my eye. Look at this. The queen went to g3, and rook takes a7?
What?
Is that possible?
Can we just do an action replay of that?
I don't know if that's really what happened. Knight f8. Is there really a way where Timur just blundered?
He did, and he just resigned.
Yeah.
Gukesh gets gifted a rook and a whole point on the spot. A complete miss by Rajabov, losing a rook. Wow. That was a win for Gukesh. We will take this in, but let's go back to our live action. Where do you want to jump to, Robert?
We have so many good choices.
Let's
Go back to Pragg, exactly, versus Vidit. Look at the progress that Vidit is making here. The rook came to e4, but the eval says that black is almost completely winning. Is that really a bishop?
It doesn't look like one right now. Black's 3 pawns on the queen side really tying that bishop down. It looks like a big pawn and not a bishop at the moment. He's essentially playing down a piece.
He is playing down a piece, and the knight goes back to e3, but these rooks on the d file now have open lines. One can go to d1, the second can go to d2, and this rook needs to stay put, but it's also almost trapped. This rook
look at this. Vidit playing with all his pieces. Gets the king to the center of the board as well. It does get a question mark, but I really like the move king f5, and now your rook comes in, and now you're forced to defend the e4 rook with that e2 rook. The e2 rook is overloaded, also stopping rook d2 ideas.
Yeah, and the thing is, for black, maybe g4, knight f3 at some point, setting up a checkmating net. Just trade rooks. If you are Vidit, this bishop cannot play in the game. And maybe if you're taking, you have knight c4. We talked about this idea, getting this bishop on a3, and at the very least, white can't move.
White can't move. You can keep that knight forever, or you can trade and destroy white's pawn structure. Right now, the rook is the piece that has to move. He falls back, not allowing black's rook to enter into the second rank. G4 played, getting more and more space in the position.
Rook d1, knight e5, knight f3. It's checkmate on g1. That's what's happening. You can't stop it.
And there is no way with that bishop on a3. There's just no way that you can fight it. It's a mate in 2. He wants to go rook h1 to try and stop it.
The only way, and wow, what a clever defense. But can he even just trade rooks and bring his king in? That should be a winning endgame. Knight e1, he wants knight c2.
He wants more. He can give a check and just gain some time on the clock and come back.
King e4. What's happening here? Knight f3 check? He does it?
He has to go back to g2.
And he can trade.
And now the king comes to d. You trade on b4.
Oh, he still wants the bishop trapped. He does not give the bishop any air to breathe.
And you've got king c4 coming in.
Really nice play from Vidit. He goes knight d2. He might go knight b1 first and then king to c4. But the point is, he's just winning the pawns on the queen side.
And look at that. Something just happened. Another illegal move.
An illegal move?
Pragnananda's smiling.
Oh, he went king f1. But the king can't go to that square. Is that what just happened?